Hello, welcome. Marlene here. Today I'm making some tulip cookies. I was inspired by this pretty flower. Included in this tutorial, I'll be sharing how to use photos of your cookies to create some nice little custom gifts, really personalized for your friends and family. And now on to the step-by-step tutorial. Here are the cookies. I simply flipped one of the cookies over to get a mirror of that shape. And then I added some guidelines, which I'm going to be filling separately to create a separation between the two. And I'm starting by filling in one side, letting that dry, and then filling the second section. So really not complicated. We're working in only one shade of green. You could, I guess, flood the whole thing and then add a line in the center if you wanted to create a vein in the center of the leaf. I'm just going to do it this way, so I won't have anything kind of sticking up. And sometimes if you do a line on top, depending on how you package, it can get chipped off. And this way there's nothing that's going to get broken off. You should think about your packaging when you create your design, because obviously certain designs can get damaged if you have things sticking up a little bit. So let's shake it. And that's it. We're just going to let that dry. The second section now. So we just outline the edge over here and like that, and then in the middle that's it. And now once this has time to dry, you could airbrush a little mist in the middle just to create a bit of shading. And since the flower's airbrushed, it'll kind of add to the, like, matching the two designs together. Now for the first section here, I've added some very basic guidelines, and then around this round here, I'm just doing a wiggly line, just like that. And then flood this area in the light pink, like so. Connect to that dark pink, and then just flood the whole thing. Make it, smooth it out a bit. Grab the same dark pink as before, and now immediately while the icing's wet, we're doing alternate lines. So just a thin one and then a wiggly one, like that. And let's just make sure that everything is smoothed out. A shake. And once this has had time to dry, we'll be able to come in and add this second and third petal. Now for the second petal, I'm grabbing my darker pink here. I'm just outlining right there and then doing a squiggly line to the top, and here too actually. I'm gonna do the squiggly line right here. Let's just flood this whole area with that light pink now. Just going to connect to the pink that we just did. And outline over here, and let's just flood the whole thing. There we go. And now grabbing the dark pink, creating those stripes once again, trying to kind of keep the movement of the petal kind of, you know, we don't want straight lines. There and there. And now in the middle I'm doing like the wiggly line. Let's just smooth this out with a shake. And we'll let that all dry before coming in and adding the final third petal. Last bit, wiggly line from the top here all the way down to the bottom. There. Let's fill the rest with this light pink. And a little shake, grabbing the dark pink, and same as before, we're kind of following the movement on the petals. And that's it for the icing. Here are the completed cookies together. No better match than a flower with a leaf. And now I'll be sharing a little kind of idea inspiration with you should you be looking for a different way to gift your cookies this year. You will need to take some very nice, bright, clear photos of your cookies before you can proceed. Here are the printable sheets that I got. This is by Shrinky Dinks. Once you've taken the photos of your cookies, you'll need to crop out all the outside elements. It's just going to waste ink for no reason, and then you can kind of layer it and see what your charms are actually going to look like. Here I'm preparing my images to print on my Shrinky Dink sheets. I formatted my images to the size that I wanted. The next thing that you have to do, you have to reduce the intensity or the opacity to 50% so that when they print, they're very faint, but once they shrink, the color really intensifies. And so once you've got that done, you can print off your sheet. Here's the package. They sell them in two types. It's either a clear plastic. This is a white plastic. So one side, if you touch them, one side is a bit rougher than the other, and that's the side you want to print on. And you can do a test first on paper to make sure you're printing it right. Here is my test one, and here they are printed. And you can tell if you print it on the right side because when you touch them they smear, and this is on the right side because it's not smearing. I did have some issues with my printer here. You see it did stripes, so we're just going to skip those. I find that when you cut things out, you're better to just go rough first, kind of to eliminate the rest of the page. You just want to get a small piece first, like that, and I use the corner of the scissor. If you find it tricky to cut these out, you could just make them on rounds, get a round hole punch like those big paper punches, and cut them out. They sell these 1-inch punches, and you could just make round charms if you find this difficult. It is very important to make your holes at this point before they are baked. You just take a regular hole punch and punch the holes. They look big, but don't forget this is going to be shrinking to a very small size. Here you can see why they're called Shrinky Dinks. I've just taken them out of the oven. They are thicker, so now they don't bend. They're very sturdy. The color has intensified and they shrunk considerably. So you can see the little hole that we made earlier. This is what they were before. This is the leftover ones that I didn't bake. Now I'm going to assemble my little charms. I have here some jump rings, and here are some lobster claws here. For this one I'm going to use my tulip and show you it's a two-part. I want the leaf in front. So first thing I'm doing with my pliers, which are too big, but this is all I have, so this one I'm using. And I'm slipping on the tulip cookie and then the leaf that's alone, and then on the other side I'm putting my little lobster claw. Now once that's all on, I'm gathering them up together so that I can kind of expose the part that I need to pinch together to seal this up. So just close up your jump ring, and then you have a little tulip charm. So let's just finish the last two. This one here I personalized. This is not written in icing. I actually photoshopped a message onto this particular charm. It says Happy Mother's Day, so you can personalize them. And now the little butterfly. Now you can certainly customize this any way you want. I'm just quickly showing you what I did. This is more of an inspiration video than a tutorial. It's to give you an idea of a gift that you can make with your cookie designs. And now let's slip the little lobster claw on, and let's close this jump ring. All right, now I have all my charms, so let's get the bracelet ready. So I'm adjusting the bracelet size because it's a bit big, so I'm going to go 5 over, put the jump ring back on, and then put the little tie on, and close it. There. And now we can load up the bracelet with the charms. There. What's the order that I'm doing here? Do the bird, okay. So the butterfly. Tulip. And one more. Fold that to find the middle. Okay. All right, now the bracelet's a better size for my wrist. And here they are. You could make them even smaller if you find that they're on the big side. If you wanted, you could add like a varnish to them to make them shiny and protect the color. But this is basically just, you know, a little idea for you. I really like this one. This would be a cute little necklace, actually. So there, a different way to gift your cookies. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Now imagine these cookies packaged with the little matching jewelry set. Wouldn't that be the most adorable personalized gift? People always say these cookies are too pretty to eat, so they're pretty enough to wear for sure. So thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future uploads, and I'll see you next time.